A guy I said all year doing college games that I thought he should have been at the Heisman ceremony, that he was one of the best players in all of college football, played all over the defensive line. They had him at tackle, defensive end. He lined up at nose. He was standing up as an edge rusher. Excited to bring in Jonathan Allen. Jonathan, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on, bud.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, let's get this out of the way first. How was your vacation down in Costa Rica?
You know, it was amazing. We had a good day. I met some avid Bama fans, so that was a good time.
I saw that. So what you don't know is that I was there as well.
Really?
I was at the exact same place. I saw you hanging out. Everybody's bothering you. I didn't want to I knew you wanted your peace and quiet. That's why you went down there. But, man, what a great place that was. I had a great time with my wife.
Oh, man, it's amazing. I definitely got to go back there.
Well, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I want to talk to you about what you enjoy the boys. You played right defensive end, left defensive end. You played some tackle. You played nose. They lined you up as an edge rusher. Do you like being moved around everywhere, or is there a position that you feel most comfortable with?
You know, I wouldn't say there's a position I feel most comfortable with. I love playing inside and playing at the 3-tech and just being nasty and playing double teams and being on the inside. But I also really enjoy playing in and standing up every now and then and showing my athleticism. So I wouldn't say there's one position that I love playing more than another. I just love being out there and playing the game of football.
So we had Coach Harbaugh on just recently. He was talking about Jabril Peppers and how he had this enthusiasm that he loved to play and practice. And I've heard the same things about you, that you play with incredible effort on every play, that you love to get in there and be a leader in practice, in the games. Where does that drive come from?
It definitely comes from through experience. Throughout my 4 years at college, the biggest lesson that I've learned is the best games I've had were also my best weeks of practice, and that's not by coincidence. It is definitely a habit and a pattern that you build throughout the whole week. So definitely, if you want to perform your best in the game, you gotta practice hard and treat every rep during practice like it's a game rep.
You played for a legendary coach in Nick Saban. What did you take away from him? Talk about coming in, what you thought he might be like as a coach, and then what was the biggest thing that you took away from him playing for him throughout your career?
You know, I really thought he was just like a mean drill sergeant when I first came in.
Right.
I was terrified. I didn't know what to expect. all I knew was the horror stories or what I've seen in the media. But I mean, going into playing for him, he's such a player's coach now. He's definitely he's a hard coach. I mean, you got to practice, you got to do the right thing, you got to enjoy the process. But he's such a player's coach, and he cares so much about his players. And other than football, he really puts a big point of emphasis on being a better person, being a better man, a better husband. So that's probably a lot of things that, Coach Saban doesn't really get maybe not enough credit for.
Mm-hmm.
Because he doesn't really portray that in the media. But, man, he's such a great coach. I mean, I love him.
That's awesome. That's great to hear because you're right. It doesn't get talked about near as much as it probably should. When you went through your preparation, getting ready for the Combine, the Pro Day, what was that like for you? What were you focused on most? And how do you think everything went at the Combine?
Throughout the preparation for the Combine, it was all new to me. So I was just trying to take it day by day, work, make sure I showed up to the Combine lean, make sure everything looked good. I rehabbed the crap out of my shoulders. My shoulders feel so much better. They feel great. To be honest, probably the best they felt in the last 4 years. Just having that time to recover and really just focus on them for a month or two. So that was definitely a point of emphasis. And really just going out there and just looking sharp, looking clean. And, just putting it all together and look like a well-put-together player. And I feel like I did a good job of doing that.
You brought up your shoulders. That's been something that's been talked about recently. Watching you play, I don't see anything that tells me that they're a problem at all. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes, I completely agree. There is nothing wrong with my shoulders. Honestly, just fatigue will probably be the biggest thing I suffer with through college. I mean, after the football season's done in January, for us, we're usually playing late into January or early into January. We go straight into running, straight into working out, and then back into spring ball. And then right after that, we're back into the season. So it really wasn't a lot of time for me to rest and recover. But, haven't missed a game, never missed a practice. Like I said, this is the best I felt in the last 4 years just because I really had time to just work on them and recover. And honestly, I feel amazing.
Who is a guy that you look at, you try in the NFL to try to pattern your game after? I talked about Aaron Donald as a guy that I look at and I see you being an impact player like he was and the ability to do so many different things like him. But is there a guy that you've patterned your game after?
The two guys that I love watching the NFL is one, Aaron Donald. I just like the way he plays. He just jumps off the screen. just disruptive, makes plays. But other than him, I love watching Geno Atkins. Those two guys, I just love how they approach the game. They're just ballers, and that's definitely people I looked at in my senior season.
As you look at this next process, what's the next step for you? You're just waiting on the draft, trying to figure out where you're going to go, and then being able to take that next step?
For me, it's really about staying in shape. I'm doing a lot of traveling, so I'm not really back in Tuscaloosa as much as I would like to be. So getting a workout at the treadmill at the Marriott in Tennessee or wherever I may be, really focusing on diet, because that's super big and important for me right now. So really just making sure I'm staying in shape, because the last thing I want to do is get drafted and go to OTAs and be out of shape. That's the last thing I want to do. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on right now.
Are you going to go to the draft? Have you made a decision on that?
I haven't made a decision yet. It's kind of hard because I definitely want to be around my family, but I'm kind of taking it step by step, and I'll decide in a little bit.
Go ahead, Law. You got one for him?
Yeah. Hey, Jonathan, wanted to ask you: have you been getting many questions about Reuben Foster? And we know he was sent home from the combine in an unfortunate incident, but I saw you tweeted out the other day that he's hands down one of the best teammates you've ever had. Have teams asked you about him?
They've asked me a little bit about him. To be honest, most teams, they do their research, or they want to be doing their job, so they know almost everything there is to know about him. But the things they ask me about is just how he is off the field as a teammate on the practice field. And, honestly, I know I'm probably a little biased because I play with him, but it's hard for me to say something negative about a guy who literally shows up every day, busts his butt, never complains about working hard, drives the team, picks the team up. Honestly, one of the heart and soul of our defense is the last 2 to 3 years. So, I can't say enough nice things about Reuben Foster. And, any team who gets him, they're going to be mad. Or any team that doesn't get him, they're going to be mad they passed up on him, because he's the real deal.
Well, I feel the same way about you, Jonathan. If somebody passes on you, they're a fool. I'd take you number one overall. I appreciate you coming on. Good luck in the draft. Enjoy it. It's something you'll never go through again. Have fun. Enjoy the whole process. And good luck in your next career in the NFL and kicking some butt.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys having me.
Absolutely.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.